The devil loves using acceptance so that we just sit in one place. We sit stagnant in a place of accepting my okay life, God is calling you higher. He's calling you deeper. God is always moving, so why not move with him? And sometimes that means ending and cutting off relationships that just aren't good for us. Welcome back to Get Outside today. This is episode 20. We are back outside in the mountains, basically in my backyard. I hiked from my front door, from my living room to the spot. God, thank you for another day. What do you have for us today? What is our 1% growth today? This is our 5th episode in our series, Define Relationships, Dating, a Choice, and Hard Conversations. Redeemed Society. The first brand that ever reached out to me earlier this year. They are a clothing line company. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. You can get 25% off your entire purchase when you use code Dominic at checkout. This is only valid for another month, so go. Support their brand, support their voice, their mission. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. This episode will be broken down into 3 parts. Dating is a choice, hard conversations, and God as the foundation. I feel like we live in a world where we just wait for some magical sign that someone's the one. We want them to be shipped to our doorstep on a platter. Here they are. We wait for some dream or a word or her name written in the clouds to tell us that she's the one, that he's the one. But I believe that God gives us free will in relationships. He gives us free will to choose relationship with him. And so he gives us free will to choose in relationships here on earth. Romantic relationships, friendships, he gives us free will to choose. So therefore, at some point, you have to make a choice. A lot of people get so scared, they don't even make a choice at all. We get so scared of choosing the wrong one. But indecision is a decision in itself, and it just leaves us stuck. When you're choosing someone to date, it's not about just the butterflies. Butterflies fly in and butterflies fly out. But decisions last. Imagine building a multi-million-dollar business, and you're looking to choose a partner in this business. Are you looking for somebody who's attractive? Are you looking for somebody who's just really funny? You're looking for somebody who is willing to communicate, who's willing to be positive during the hard days, the hard times. Somebody who's willing to fight for you and the greater purpose of the business, the greater mission. Just like relationships. Somebody who's willing to communicate with you, fight for you, and be present and communicate during this bigger mission of Jesus. We're not dating for a wedding, for a party, for a moment. We're dating for a lifelong mission that God has instilled in you and in your partner together. At the end of the day, the one just isn't delivered, they're found. They're chosen at the altar. They're chosen when you ask them out to be your girlfriend. You make them the one by choosing them every single day. While you're dating, engaged, married, it's a lifelong commitment. And yes, it costs something. It costs Adam a rib. It costs time, sacrifice, pursuit. If you stop pursuing and chasing after the person you are with, somebody else will. So here's the real question. Do you feel the fruits of the Spirit in your relationship? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If so, that's probably God nudging you like, okay, it's your choice. It's your time to decide. Say yes. Free will. And if you're not enjoying being with them, if you're not having fun with them in the dating stage, it's probably not just going to magically change. I have held on to relationships so long just hoping that things would change. Dating potential, as we've talked about. Oh, I can see little bits and parts of what this person could be, and you just keep waiting and hoping for that moment. Who are they yesterday and today? Normalize breaking up. We waste years in this state of hope, hoping that the person that we're with will just change. It's not up to you. It is not up to you to change somebody. I've been in relationships that checked off every single one of my boxes, matched all my interests on paper. This person was the one. If you've been following along in this series, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've heard the stories. And you know exactly how those relationships turned out. Surface level, butterflies were great, but that was it. We're a few months into the relationship and we're wondering why our taste of music isn't carrying us through these hard times, through disagreements, through life circumstances that are just heavy. We depend so much on these surface level things to carry us through. I don't get why things aren't working out. We love all these things. It's the root. It's the root that carries you through, that holds the foundation, that holds the tree strong. If you are miserable a couple months in, we talk about choices of staying together and choosing the one, but there's also choices of breaking up, of ending relationships that aren't healthy, that are codependent, that are dragging you down, that aren't leading you forward. You feel stuck. Normalize breaking up. Normalize ending friendships that aren't calling you higher. The devil loves using acceptance so that we just sit in one place. We sit stagnant in a place of accepting my okay life, you know. God is calling you higher. He's calling you deeper. God is always moving, so why not move with him? And sometimes that means ending and cutting off relationships that just aren't good for us. In having these hard conversations, breaking up with somebody, ending relationships, it's not easy. Most of the time, I've been the one to break up with somebody. I've been screamed at, cussed at, begged to, oh, but what if we just tried this? What if we just did this? At that point, it's too late. They know exactly how to get to you. They know how to use your emotions in this time of trying to end the relationship. Stand strong. Stand strong in the things that you know that you need. You're not responsible for this person. We feel responsible. We really do. And it's hard, but you have to stand strong, set boundaries, see the big picture, see beyond this person. You have to see life beyond this person. Short and sweet conversation. A short and sweet, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Don't water down or justify your dreams or reasons. It doesn't have to make sense to them. It doesn't. You are not for everybody. And until you truly believe that, you're just gonna keep people pleasing one person after another. You're not for everybody. You are uniquely made. You are one of one. Never existed before, never right now, never again. So you don't have to make sense to everybody because you are you. You are different. Find somebody that is attracted to that different side of you, that wants to be aligned in that different part of you, that wants to run with you in your differences, in the things that make you beautifully and uniquely one of one. This leads us to part two, hard conversations. Dating without real, hard, honest conversations, that's not dating, that's pretending. Something that's so important in a new relationship is setting boundaries early, making them clear. Not just going along with the flow with whatever they say, not just agreeing to have them like you. Be yourself, set boundaries early, and then you can have even more confidence that they like you for who you really are and for what you really believe in. Otherwise, it just makes things kind of awkward along the way as you're holding on to these things that you know you have to say, or maybe you have to change your mind about or tell them something different than what you agreed to in the past. At the end of the day, you're just lying to each other, pretending. I told a girl early on in our relationship that I was waiting to have sex till marriage. She was confused and she said, well, I'll be ready when you are. Red flag. These boundaries and morals are not things that are just cute. No, these things are meant to be fought for from each person. They should be shared, not negotiated. You want someone who's willing to fight for you and with you, not someone who's just going with the flow if you change your mind on certain things. No, you want them to voice their opinion. Hard conversations reveal character. Do they listen and engage when you bring up hard conversations? Or do they deflect? Do they shut down? Do they point fingers? Do they disconnect? Or do they even blow up? Do they initiate hard conversations, or is it you every single time? That's exhausting. Are you walking on eggshells with hard conversations? I've been there a lot. Every single one of my relationships felt like I was walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around, not knowing what kind of reaction I was going to get. And all I wanted to do was speak from my heart, share my feelings, share my ideas on how I thought the relationship was going, how we could improve, how we could work together, how we could grow closer. But it always came off as I was blaming them, pointing fingers. They were in the wrong. They'd shut down. I was dating a girl that wanted to go to a concert together, but it was the same night of my best friend's birthday. I didn't know what to do. I called my sister. Already a red flag that I had to call my sister about a decision like this. I was nervous to bring this up with a girl that I was dating. I was walking on eggshells. I was worried how she was going to react. And my sister said, of course, you should choose your best friend's birthday. It's once a year. That should be an easy decision. She should totally understand. I said, yes, of course. Yeah, you're right. The day comes where I was going to tell her. I tell her that I was going to choose my friend's birthday over going to the concert, but we could hang out the rest of the weekend. We could have the whole weekend together. We were also celebrating 6 months of dating that day. I brought her a cookie from Chick-fil-A, a coffee from Chick-fil-A, flowers, all the things. I was so excited to celebrate with her that weekend. I tell her about choosing the birthday party over the concert. She shut down. Nothing. Silence. I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm just gonna go. I stand up, I'm walking out the door. She picks up the cookie that I bought her and slams it down on the ground and blows up. Pointing fingers. How can I trust you when you tell me you're gonna do things and just threw a fit. I broke up with a girl in college. Screaming, cussing me out, pointing fingers. It was just more confirmation that it was the right decision. How do they react to hard conversations? How do they react to you voicing your opinion, to sharing your ideas? Do they shut down? Do they deflect? Do they blow up? Do they throw fits like a toddler? Or are they able to put themselves into your shoes? I think one of the most important parts of a relationship is being able to hear the person you're with, see their heart. Even if you might not agree, it's so important to be able to listen and acknowledge and not deflect, point fingers, not even. Are they able to put themselves into your shoes? I've prayed for these conversations to be smooth, to go well, that God would soften their heart before these conversations. Sometimes that has happened. Other times, it hasn't happened. And it was just confirmation that that person just wasn't the right one for me. Don't be mad at God. It's just a sign that that person just shouldn't be in your life. They don't always have to agree with me. I'm not always right. They just have to value my opinion and my ideas and my heart. If they throw a whole tantrum as an adult, that's not my assignment anymore. They have some inner healing and work that they need to do in their relationship space. Have your own voice. Stop saying, well, it's up to you. Oh, if you want. No. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in your decisions. Be confident in the things that you want. Voice your opinion. Have hard conversations. Work together. On the other side of a healthy, hard conversation, you get closer. Growth. Beautiful things come alive. There's no more awkward elephant in the room, awkward tension. When things are brought into the light, they are worked through. They are healed. They are beautiful again. I dated a girl who would get furious, and yes, she would use that word. I'm furious. I don't understand. The napping story. If you know, you know. And that lasted about 2 months. Can they put themselves into your shoes? If someone doesn't respect me and my space and my day-to-day things, they won't respect my dreams and my mission. If they shut down during hard conversations, if they laugh at you when you share your dreams and you share your passions and you share your heart, it's time to have that hard conversation of breaking up with them, of ending friendships, relationships that aren't calling you higher. And that leads us to section 3, God as a foundation. Here's the final piece. God has to be the foundation of your relationship. He has to be number one. Before the other person, before your feelings, from the very beginning, invite him in. From some of your first dates, invite him in together. Because when conflict arises, which it will, you need to have a common ground to meet in, to find truth in. If you don't agree on the big things, faith, values, core ideas, then 10 years down the road, when you're raising a family together, how are you going to raise your kids? What are you telling your kids? Are you unified, or is it a house divided? That's why hard conversations early on save you from heartbreak down the road. They clear the fog, they establish unity, and they help you from wasting your time in the wrong relationships. So if you're struggling in a relationship right now, you're struggling with friendships that don't feel right, here's what I want you to remember. Relationships aren't about finding perfection. They're about making a choice. They're about having hard conversations. They're about putting yourselves into the other person's shoes, being able to listen. Don't avoid conversations. Those are the very things that will help you determine whether or not that person's the one. How else will you know? At the end of the day, love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision, day in and day out. Episode 20, standing out for yourself, choosing God. Take a deep breath. I know this is heavy. I know this is hard. I know there can be a lot of tension in making decisions, in having hard conversations. I can feel heavy. I can feel scary. But on the other side of hard conversations comes more growth, more connection, more beauty, if that person is right. Unfortunately, I've had to learn a lot of these things the hard way. And I might not be dating somebody right now. I might not be coming from a place of, oh, look, it's worked for me. But I've come from a place of, I've been through the worst of it. I've seen how to do it poorly. I've been with people who have showed me what I don't want and what I can't have in a long-term relationship. The goal of this whole series has been to help you do better than I have. And so that's why I want to share my experience. I'm sorry that it's been a while since my last episode. I've gotten a new job. I was unemployed for 10 months. Praise God that I'm not worried about finances anymore, but I'm just busy now. I have a lot of dreams, a lot of passions, a lot of things that God is calling me to. The podcast is so important to me. Guys, thank you for all your support and being along this podcast journey. It has been just about a year since we started this podcast journey. It's been incredible. So much life. Don't let the little laughs and whispers of the people around you get in the way of pursuing your dreams, because you never know how much life is on the other side of just starting. I've been spending most of my time on TikTok. If you're not following me there, it's Dominic_outdoors. It is time to stand out for yourself. It is time to experience beautiful relationships. It's time to have hope in this idea of dating again. You are worth it. You are so worth the 1% each and every day. And as every day, get outside today.